June the 7th, 2021. Guys, you're looking at the Canadian model for the Caribbean, and we've got some tropical information that's starting to come in. They say a system is forming down into the Caribbean itself, and it's going to skate across the land right there in Central America, come up into the Bay of Campeche, and come ashore somewhere on the Gulf Coast. Now, this is going out about 10 days, so you're over a week away. Now, these models were watching a system form before it was actually numbered this morning on the National Hurricane Center. We'll take a look at that. But it almost shows two systems merging. You've got one in the Caribbean here. As it moves along the Central American East Coast, it merges with a system that's in the Pacific Ocean. Watch this. A couple of models are showing this also. It's going to moving around here, and then it wraps around, picks up some strength in the Bay of Campeche here, comes into central Louisiana. Some are showing down further into Texas, close to the Mexican border. But I just wanted to say that, again, this is a few days out, the model, and they will change, but it's really heating up in the tropics now. We're going to have to pay very close attention to this. Now, looking at the National Hurricane Center, this is the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And this system setting here is a 20% chance of formation in the next 5 days. An area of low pressure is expected to develop over the southwestern Caribbean Sea by Thursday or Friday. Some gradual development will be possible thereafter as the system moves slowly northwestward towards Central America. So it's going to sit here, start to form, and you saw on the model slowly roll up into the Bay of Campeche area and merge with another system. And satellite images are showing us this, guys. There's been a system setting here, almost half of it onshore and half of it out in the Caribbean, but it's been pumping moisture north and northeast back across the Atlantic for a few days, similar to the systems that we've seen in the Gulf. But, guys, this thing is supposedly going to wrap up, get offshore here, and start moving, again, northwestward along the shore. Not a lot of information right now. The models are just now starting to pick it up. I'm sure we'll get more updates, and I will update that as they come in. But it is that time of year. We're in June. It officially started June 1st, and, we had the first system back in May. Now, as we look at the wide Atlantic view, guys, you can see the Saharan dust layer that's coming off of the African coast. Wraps pretty good piece out into the Atlantic itself. It's thicker here as it's coming offshore. You can see this large loop. Now, that's going to prohibit the Atlantic hurricanes somewhat. We've seen it the last few years. Don't think it's going to have that much effect on what's happening here in the Caribbean. Do notice that in Louisiana and Texas, there's storms popping up. And, guys, we've been in a flash flood watch for a couple of days here in central Mississippi. The ground is saturated. So there may be some drying time between the storms that are here now with all our flash flood watches and warnings and the time this thing arrives. That's what we're hoping for. But I want to take a close look again at the Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi area and just show you what we're dealing with. Now, this is looking straight down over the northern part of the Gulf. You've got Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas. And you can see into Arkansas now moving across the Mississippi River in the Mississippi Delta, back into Oklahoma and into Texas. And, again, we're just now getting some relief from all the rain that you're seeing you guys in northern Alabama and Georgia getting now. And we just got a second wave coming. If we move this radar over to Texas, you can see what we'll be dealing with for the next few days. And you can see here, there's storms forming. It's going to be warm today. This thing could get out of hand. We're going to watch it. If they start getting severe thunderstorm or tornado watches or warnings up later this afternoon. And guys in California, you're still in a drought situation. The news has not got better in the last few weeks when I did the last drought video. More and more reservoirs are drying up. More and more farmers, guys, are in massive trouble. You've got most of your avocados, your almonds, things like that, like 90% of the ones that we see, plus another dozen vegetables and fruits and nuts that are in the California area that's in the drought. Farmers are already pulling up their almond trees. They've been told they're not going to get any water for that section of the planting. if you've ever had a year that you really started prepping and got really serious about it, storing up some extra food and things like that, having some water filtration, guys, this is going to be the year. It's not too late for some gardens. We got plenty of moisture here in the South. A lot of us have already planted. If you've never planted a garden, this may be the year that a garden could possibly save you and your family from starvation. I'm not hyping this up at all, guys. If you look at the overall situation of the country and you look at the other countries around the world, China's in massive floods. South America, a lot of those places are in droughts. And the coffee and some of the other Central American crops are in drought situations. If what does come out of that area will be super expensive. But guys, this is just a quick update on what we're dealing with. Again, if you've never prepped before, this may be the year to start. It's a heads up. Be safe.